Critical literacy in the ESL classroom. What is critical literacy? Critical literacy refers to ways of engaging with texts that take into account contexts and social dynamics. To read critically, we pay attention to the position of the writer and the position of the ideal reader. Some of the principles of critical literacy include: all texts are constructions. All texts contain belief and value messages. Each person interprets messages differently. Texts serve different interests. Why critical literacy for ESL? Critical literacy has been deemed a new basic for navigating a text and media-saturated world. As they develop critical literacy, students move beyond an attitude of unquestioning reverence to a critical engagement with texts in English. The purpose of critical literacy is the empowerment of students and alleviation of disadvantage. How do we bring critical literacy into the classroom? Let's watch a brief demo based on an actual conversation with one of my ELL students, Mei Liu. We are discussing this ad for AT&T.
What is this ad about?
Advertise the cell phone. Yeah. So to do two things at one time is better than do one thing.
Do you agree with that message?
I think if you do one thing at one time, you can focus on what are you doing.
As we saw, asking questions is a way of inviting students to critically reflect on messages they receive. Students move from basic comprehension to questioning texts. Here are some questions you might ask students, depending on level. What is the topic? Why has this been written? Who wrote this? What might the writer's position be? Whom is this written for? What is the attitude of the writer towards the topic? How else could this have been written about? Discussions and oral activities exploring social or cultural practices and language can help students to begin to develop critical literacy. You might ask students to take a text on a topic that interests them and retell the story or opinion. They can then discuss how their versions differ from the original. Journal writing can be a way for students to reflect on the social aspects of language. Students might be asked to take note of interesting or confusing language they encounter on the bus, on the street, or in various social settings. There's disagreement on the extent to which critical literacy is useful or even possible for English language learners. As E. Eastman puts it, the notion that it is possible to assess critical literacy in beginning learners may be unrealistic. In fact, is it even fair to expect such assessment when survival language is their priority? As others have noted, cultural analysis of text requires an understanding of nuance in language. ELL students may not be equipped for this. Students often report that they can think critically in their own languages, but struggle to in English. However, ELL students do have a unique vantage point as they move between cultures and languages. As Wallace states, one advantage that L2 readers may have is that they are not the text model readers. Thus, they are in a position to bring fresh and legitimate interpretations to written texts. They are able to exploit their position as outsiders. As students gain in proficiency and confidence, They may even find the tools of critical literacy empowering, a way to make meaning out of their unique positions in their world.